Adding fat to a vegetable side dish is a great way to help your body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins and minerals in those vegetables. A great fat to add is pine nuts. They have a subtle earthy flavor that goes great with green beans. And we are going to show you a garlic and green bean with pine nut recipe. All right, so this recipe has just two parts to it. We're going to steam the green beans, and then we're going to cook the garlic and the pine nuts in a little bit of oil. So I already have some water with boiling here with a steamer basket inside, and I'm just going to put the green beans in there, and we'll just cover them and let them set for about 5 minutes. And while they are steaming, we can go ahead and get the oil and garlic started. I like to give the garlic just about a 1 minute head start before we throw in the pine nuts. And this is about 3 cloves of garlic. You can certainly take a clove and mince it yourself. I like to just buy pre-minced garlic. I find it in the produce area. It's super simple to utilize then. And I'm using avocado oil. It's one of my favorite cooking oils. You could also use coconut oil if you would prefer, but this has a lot of good monounsaturated fats and tolerates heat pretty well for a monounsaturated fat. So we're just going to take about a minute to get this going. And when that is just warm and the oil is bubbling a little bit and the garlic is fragrant, then we're going to put in the pine nuts. So this is 2 tablespoons of pine nuts for the pound to a pound and a half of green beans that I'm using. It's about 17 grams. So we're just going to put them in the oil, and we're just going to allow them to cook for about 3 minutes. Now, if you're unfamiliar with pine nuts, they are what you would expect. They come from a pine cone. So you could literally go out to your pine tree and find these. However, there's not a lot of pine cones that are big enough to produce the edible pine seeds that we eat. So you're better off leaving the harvesting to the professionals. You can find pine nuts at your local grocery store. I find them in the produce area. So if there's like a nuts and seeds area in your produce area, that's where you'd find these. And we're just going to keep a low heat here and let these cook for about 3 minutes. I will say that pine nuts are a little pricey, and the reason is because of where they are located, right inside the pine cone, so they can't really be mass harvested, so they're actually harvested by hand. So this is a 4-ounce package that I had bought at the grocery store, and that cost about $9. So that'll give me about 6.5 servings of this recipe. So we're talking about $1.30 or so per serving in your cost in pine nuts, just to give you an idea. All right, and when the green beans are finished cooking, you're just going to drain them, and then we're going to put them in with the pine nuts. All right, and our pine nuts are just cooking now and getting a little bit brown, which is what we want. And then we're just going to put a little bit more oil in, and then put in our green beans. All right, and we are just going to give these a few more minutes in the oil just to get a little bit crisp, and then we are all set. All right, and there we have it. That is a nice, wonderful, very healthy side dish with lots of vitamins and minerals and lots of good, healthy fats that are going to keep you satisfied through the evening if you have this as a side dish with your dinner. It goes great with salmon, it goes great with chicken, it goes great with steak. So give this recipe a try. I hope that this gives you some ideas for a quick, easy, healthy way to get through your evening meal. And thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you back here next week. Thanks.